Welcome to the Breaking Orbit podcast. I'm your host, Frederick Douglass Bussey. This is actually the last live podcast we'll be doing for 2022. So if you're watching this in a replay, you're probably listening to this on the brand new year. So I want to say Happy New Year to those of you who are watching live and those who may be watching or listening later. But either way, one of the things we want to talk about today is what is the one most powerful thing that you can do this year to ensure your success, to ensure your growth, and to ensure that you achieve and accomplish and receive all the things that you ideally want to be able to have in your life, in your business, in this world. That being said, this is Breaking Orbit, episode 17. Here we go. When it comes to setting goals, a lot of us set resolutions and things of that nature. I, for one, am not a person who believes in setting resolutions. I stopped doing that a few years ago. And the reason for that is not because I believe that setting resolutions is wrong or even pointless. But what I discovered was something that is maybe a shift in the way that I look at life in general, business in general, and my approach in everything helps me to realize that I don't have to wait for the new year to begin to receive or accomplish the things that I want for myself, for my family, and my business, or whatever the case may be. I don't have to wait. And so I'm not bound to those resolutions. Also, the reason for many people making resolutions is because they want to get away from something or they feel like it's an arbitrary goal to have. Let me stop doing this or let me get this new habit. And what I believe is that we want to have things that are bigger than us, things that are bigger and broader and wider and deeper and more impactful and significant. And so resolutions oftentimes become the thing that becomes the impediment or the thing that gets in the way of us having the things that we want, instead of us realizing that the things that we want most are really tied to other things and that we want them for reasons. And reasons are things that we've not always been able to tell ourselves, to share with ourselves. By the way, if you're watching this live on Facebook or LinkedIn, drop a comment below. Let me know where you're listening from. What are some of the resolutions that maybe you have been working on? You've been trying to decide what you're going to be focused on in the next year. And are there things that, if you don't do resolutions, are there some things that you want to accomplish overall that you maybe feel like you have not been able to lean into as well? All right. We've got people watching from New York, NYC up top. We've been having New York style weather here in Atlanta. And one of the things that happens in the wintertime, especially, is that you get inside, you get to start speculating about what it means to stay warm, to be in preservation, right? And we're often preserving things instead of being in an expansion mode. One of the things I want to talk about today, or the main thing I want to talk about today, is how we can always be leaning into our greatness. And that can be accomplished in one thing. It's essentially the theme of this podcast, right? And while I'm talking about it, let's talk about where it all came from. And that's from my book, Breaking Orbit, Rip Out of the Regular by Unearthing the Power Within. It's available on Amazon right now. And in this book, the theme of the book is really tied to what I discovered in the process of writing it. And so for me, that was understanding that we all have a deeper purpose and something that's bigger inside of us, something that's bigger and stronger and more powerful. Very often when we're setting up resolutions and trying to come up with things, we're trying to figure out, well, what's a better version of us, right? And the thing that we leave out, or maybe you're not even aware of, is that there is a greatest version of us. And the greatest version of you is the version of you that you were designed to be from the moment you were created. Now, I'm a believer in God. I'm a Christian. I believe that God created all of us. But whether you believe that or not, it's not an impediment from you being able to lean into and find something about yourself that is even greater. Um, Anthony's leaving his resolution. He's in Fort Washington, Maryland, not a resolution maker. Goal to juggle less balls in 2023. I want to talk about that for a second, Anthony, because many of us are juggling many different balls for various reasons, right? But I would posit to us that the main reason that we juggle so many balls in our lives, whether it's family, whether it's business, whether it's a job, a career, whether it's a marriage or a significant relationship, we're juggling all these balls, and we think of them in that way is because we're trying to keep up with everything. Hi, Amy. Good to see you again. Hope you're feeling better. And when we're juggling all these different balls, we are hoping to be able to create for ourselves enough freedom, enough deservingness to be ready, right? Enough deservingness of the things that we dream of in that life, whether it's more freedom, whether it's more impact, whatever the case may be. Those are broad terms, but for each of us, they mean something different. And if you're picking a theme for the year, the thing that I would hope that you would keep in mind, whatever your personal theme, whatever your personal goals are, the thing that I would hope you would keep in mind would be giftedness. And the reason why I want to focus on your giftedness is because you were designed for something in particular. And many of us believe that we have to chase greatness, that we are in pursuit of it, instead of realizing what means to be inside of us. In the book, Breaking Orbit, available on Amazon now. In the book, Breaking Orbit, I talk about the 9 keys to discovering your gift. And in those keys of discovering yourself, you're able to begin to articulate a version of you that is greater than you ever realized. When I was writing this book, or prior to writing the book, I was a struggling entrepreneur, yes. I was in pursuit of these bigger goals, but I had no real way of understanding what I was really capable of. And so sometimes a dream can feel more like a wish. The thing that I discovered is that when I discovered my gift and learned to lean into it, it helped me to be able to expand in the capacity. But the primary thing that it allowed me to do was to stop stressing and to stop pressing over if I was good enough, and to take my failures in my business, the stumbles, the things that didn't work, to take those things and turn it into something that meant more about me than about what I was doing. And this is the number one struggle that I see with so many entrepreneurs and so many people in general. When the world beats up against us, we feel like it's about us, and we blame ourselves, or we lash out at others because we feel as though we're not enough. We don't have everything that we need. And many of the most successful people that you will find, the people that I work with, they've achieved a level of success, but those thoughts, the nagging doubts, those things don't leave you. The imposter syndrome, the feeling that you're not good enough and not worthy, the desire to continue to achieve more and more and more to fill this hole inside of you continues to grow, because that is a void that can never be filled. It can never be filled because it's never meant to be filled by the things that we're trying to use to fill it. But if you want to accomplish greater things in this upcoming year, then what you get to do is to go deeper inside of yourself. So look inside of you and discover what is that greatness that you were created with, that you have not been tapping into for whatever reason. Whether it's because you believe that there is something that you have to do first to earn that right, whether it's because you believe that there's someone else that you have to be, whether you need to make more money or be successful in this other entity. If you feel like you don't deserve it because of a mistake you've made in the past, whatever the case may be, I'm here to let you know that none of those things are true. And that the most powerful thing you can do this year is to discover your gift. If you've discovered it already, then you can walk in your gift. In my my coaching program, I talk about this concept of dominance, and it stands for DOM, the first three letters of dominance. We think of dominance as a bad thing, right? Dominance is either in a sexual term or it is considered to be bad, it's oppressive. But dominance really comes from the word dominion, which means that you are the master of your domain. And when Adam was created, he was given dominion over the earth. When you have dominion, it means that it is yours, it belongs to you. And so to have dominion means that you are to rule over the thing that you were designed to do. You are, we talk about royalty, we call people kings and queens now, in common language. We're trying to call out to the king or the queen in them. But if you've never been raised in royalty, you don't understand the true impact of being raised that way. Many of us believe that struggle is necessary, that suffering is necessary, that it's a part of life. And what I'm here to tell you is that not only is it not necessary, but that we don't have to create it or endure it. It doesn't mean that there's not effort involved in life. It doesn't mean that there won't be struggle. And that is a concept, that is a consequence of living in the kind of world that we live in now. But we don't have to create undue suffering. And suffering is when the pain is without significance, when it doesn't have any meaning anymore. And for many of us, that occurs because what we have done is try to, as our minds do, try to make meaning of the world instead of creating meaning in the world. And that is what your gift is, in essence. That is the most powerful part of who we are as human beings, as divinely created individuals. If you look around your room, wherever you are, there's not a thing that was not created without purpose. And there was not a thing that was created in your physical realm that was not created in the mind of someone else first. All the greatest things that we have in this world were created with intention. And the most powerful thing in your life about you is the intention for which you were created, the intention with which you were created, and the purpose for which you were created. When you discover your gift, you discover your purpose. And when you discover your purpose, you discover the power you have to create a world and reality of your choosing, which means that the goals that you set are no longer just goals. The resolutions that you have are no longer just resolutions. They are not wishes. They are not even dreams. They are living, breathing entities of the way that you live out yourself and live out your life. The meaning that you seek in achievements and accomplishing other things, the things that you have accomplished that meant so little to you after you hit those goals, hit those targets. And so you set another target ahead of yourself to create more meaning, something to strive for. That is a natural thing. But it will be empty and meaningless as long as you are not walking in your gift. And so the thing that I want to leave with you today in this episode is simply the most powerful thing that you can do this year, which is to walk in your gift, discover your gift and walk in it. Show up wherever you are. Show up as a leader. Show up as an entrepreneur. Show up as a parent. Show up as a spouse, as a partner. Show up as a real human being. The scarcity and greed and envy, which so many of us struggle with on a day-to-day basis, those are things that are pulling us down. They're tearing us down. They're just integrating our power. They're diluting our strength. And we can feel it. We can feel it when it's being yanked away from us. Our attention spans are being frittered away. We have so many notifications on our phones. We don't know where to focus. And so we're all chasing multiple things, multiple solutions. And when I'm telling you that there is one thing first and foremost, primarily, is to learn and understand who you were created to be, why you were created to be that person. Because your superpower, your giftedness is the essence of your existence here on earth. It is the essence of being who and what you were created to be. It is the essence of creating the significance and meaning in your life. It's just past Christmas. And so one of the things that I love about my family, my children, we try not to give our children too many gifts. We ask them for the thing that they want. And I don't know if we've actually done this on purpose. It was never intentional, but they usually only ask for one thing a piece. They don't ask for a lot of toys throughout the year, but they focus on what's the thing I want for Christmas. And I think what it has done is be able to, it's allowed them to be able to know what they want and to fully enjoy it, because that was the thing that they wanted the most. They were able to focus their energy and focus and all their attention on having that thing for Christmas. And what I love about it is that my kids ask for a gift and then they play with that gift for days. So it's not just I play with it that day or the next day and then they abandon it, which tells me that they knew what they wanted and they picked the right thing. But also the joy and pleasure that I get out of giving them their gifts is that I know that they have had that singular focus and attention. And because of that, it's allowed them to be able to grow and expand in a powerful way. And when I say a powerful way, it's not just playing, right? They're able to realize and express a version of themselves, something that they wanted for a very long time, months even. My son is still playing with his gift from last year, and now he's added new gifts to it, and he loves it. I mean, he's 6 years old. But I think that the underlying theme of that is it allows them to realize that they can focus on something and know that it is powerful. And what I take from that is that we all have a gift inside of us that many of us have been yearning for and longing for and needing to unpack. And we have not done that. We have never unwrapped our gifts. Or maybe you've unwrapped it, and just like children do, sometimes you've played with it, you've looked at it, you've admired it, maybe it even terrified you, and you put it away. You put it on the shelf because you didn't feel like it was enough, or that it was special, or that it mattered. And what I want you to understand is that not only does it matter, but it's necessary. It's necessary for you, it's necessary for the world, and all the things that you desire are on the other side of you unwrapping your gift. So whatever you aim to do in this next year, I'm hopeful that you will take that step. Of course, you can always read the book. But if there's another method you found to be able to discover your gift, to discover what's great about you, if you already know what that is, my question for you would be simply, why aren't you using it? Why aren't you walking in your gift? Why aren't you doing the one most powerful thing that you can do, not just this year, not just today, but every day? It's been a pleasure having you here with me. Those of you who stopped by for a second or for the entire podcast, I'm grateful for your time. I'd love to know what you think about these things. Drop a comment below if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Share this with someone. And let me know what you are experiencing and discovering through this conversation. I appreciate you all. And the thing that I want to do most of all is to serve you in the most powerful way. Let me know how I can do that. If you need support with your business or anything else, feel free to reach out in the comments or send me a message. Let us know how we can help you to be able to unpack your greatness in your business and your life, to be able to create more significance and impact in this world, because that is why we're all here, to do that very simple thing. My name is Frederick Douglass Bussey, and as always, ever forward.